I saw Spectre because Justin wanted to see it back when we were in college, and I went with him.
Oh, God.
That was like one of our first movies we saw together.
I think it was the first.
First date?
Yep, it was our first date. we went after club, went and got some ice cream afterwards, cuddled on the couch.
Should really not broadcast our personal lives.
I'm gonna move on.
Welcome to Idiot Plot, a comedic podcast critiquing, discussing, and analyzing the media industry through reviews, debates, and historical deep dives.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Idiot Plot. I'm David Yanish, and joining me, as always, are Alex Overdahl.
What do you hear? What do you say?
And Justin Neitzel.
This is going to get heavy, Doc.
Yep. And we're doing movie quotes because today is a very special episode of Idiot Plot. As we know, it's March. This past Sunday was Selection Sunday for March Madness with the NCAA basketball tournament. And we are going to get into the fun ourselves with our own movie bracket. That's right. We create our own bracket with our own movie picks. And we are going to debate them and decide a winner on today's episode. Now, how this bracket worked is we each kind of picked our own group of movies that we wanted. We thought it'd be easy. We each had like 30 movie lists that we had to whittle down to 8. So we each got a bracket's worth, or like a section of a bracket's worth. And then we had a combined section, because there's only 3 of us and there's 4 sections. So we had our own little section of kind of films we all, or at least 2 of us kind of liked. And then we randomized everything and kind of randomized seating. And if you want the full bracket to watch as you listen, it's available on our Facebook page. So go check our Facebook page while you're there. Like us.
Follow along that way.
Also have it in the link of our YouTube.
Okay, awesome. So we'll have the link to the unfilled out bracket. We're gonna fill it out as we go, and we'll post that at a later date. So there's no spoilers. But this is gonna get intense. This is gonna get heavy. Feelings will be hurt. Friendships will probably be ended.
For a day.
This will be difficult, but by the end of this episode, there will be an Idiot Plot March Madness Movie of the Year Champion. Can't speak today. But a winner will be crowned. There can be only one. And with that, we're going to get started right away in the opening segment with our first matchup of the day. Mad
Starting
Max.
in the upper left region.
Yep, in the upper left quadrant. What's that on the NCAA bracket? Is that like
honestly? I never remember the regions. I always say they're in the upper left. I don't remember which one's Midwest or Northwest or Eastern, whatever.
Okay, so we'll just say upper left to be morons.
We're very technical here.
Yep. Which is Mad Max Fury Road versus The Prestige.
Prestige.
So
The final act.
So Mad Max Fury Road.
Will you bring it back?
Is Tom Hardy driving and turning around with some action in the way, and Prestige is Christopher Nolan's magic movie. Now, as this works, 2/3 vote wins. Winner moves on. Loser stays. So, thoughts: Fury Road versus The Prestige. Before we take a vote, does anyone want to debate for one film? I think Fury Road was my pick. I believe the Prestige was Justin's.
Yep.
Love both films. Both are excellent. Super surprised by just, as always with Nolan, how brainy The Prestige is. But I mean, Fury Road is,
I don't know if Fury Road...
masterpiece.
I don't know if I'd say it's the best action movie ever made, but it's definitely up there.
It's
most
in the
definitely.
argument.
I mean, just it's all wide shots and everything, and they're doing it all practically. I mean, no close-up shots and quick cuts to fake it.
What did you describe?
And we're not fighting now, but we're literally about to start arguing on the next one. So this is a nice warm-up.
What did you describe it to me as, Alex? An action opera, I think is how you.
I think I did. It basically is.
I mean, basically, you got a guy with a flaming guitar,
and just the smoothness of Like that's why the opera aspect is like just the smoothness and the coordination of everything that happens. It's like, and there's so much happening. Like
I like to think of it as George Miller's Lawrence of Arabia, where they just went into a desert and filmed a movie. And
cocaine fueled Lawrence of Arabia.
probably just got really high in the desert and filmed a movie. But not to leave it out. The Prestige is an amazing movie.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's like one of Nolan's best and smartest.
I mean, it's like they just randomly filmed a bunch of scenes and somehow crafted a coherent story with everything.
It might be my favorite Nolan screenplay. I don't.
Yeah, it's got a couple mother of a twist moments. Like, oh my goodness.
It's not my favorite Christopher Nolan movie by far, but I like it. I think it's definitely his most underrated.
Yes,
because no one talks about it, but it's super smart.
Yeah.
There's times where I like this above Inception.
The Prestige is the movie where I realized I loved Christopher Nolan.
Definitely.
It shows a lot of versatility. You know, people are kind of, you know, the Nolan style, so to speak, like particularly with Tenet, got like a backlash, but the Prestige is like something that is very different while still feeling very Nolan.
And he made a movie about magicians interesting.
Well, the world of magic is very interesting, I think. I'm always fascinated by it, especially like
Usually
in the era.
You know.
When they actually like kill animals for the trick.
Yeah. He's into books.
But yeah, The Prestige, great movie. Fury Road, great movie. A really good movie is about to be a good movie that probably could have won other matchups, is about to get voted out right at the beginning. So, do people want any more discussion, or should we go to a vote?
To a vote.
Okay.
Let's kill it.
So, let's start. Justin, how do you vote?
Fury Road.
Alex, how do you vote?
Fury Road.
And that is 3 for Mad Max Fury Road. Mad Max Fury Road is moving on.
I mean, The Prestige was my pick, but I mean, I can't argue Fury Road.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
That was an unfortunate matchup, because looking at some of these movies that are about to be
there's some winners I would vote it over.
Yeah, exactly.
Probable winners.
Now on to our second matchup in this quadrant. David Lynch's The Elephant Man versus Taika Waititi's What We Do in the Shadows. I can hear the rage in Alex, because he probably knows.
I already pre-hate both of you because I know exactly how this is going to end.
This is tough for me.
You think?
Can I defend Elephant Man here?
Well, I'm just gonna say, because I think you assume how I'm gonna vote. This is really tough for me.
Oh, interesting.
What We Do in the Shadows is my pick. I love that movie. I still think it's my favorite Taika Waititi movie. It's so smart. It's so funny. But Elephant Man, I just watched for the first time very recently. It's a masterpiece. Like David Lynch is so damn good. It's so emotional. It's so sad. Great makeup work.
That's the interesting thing is, you know, you think David Lynch, you think the weird, surreal things, and it is here in small spades, but it only adds to the emotion. It's such a subdued film, which helps, like, the super strong emotion of the character and just how grateful he is. It's like, it crushes you. Like, it's heartwarming and heartbreaking. Like, all at the same time. It's like such an emotionally strong watch.
Yeah, it is so sad. Justin, I don't think you've ever seen Elephant Man.
I've seen parts of it. I've seen some of the major big parts where he's like yelling, "I am not an animal. I am a human being."
That's such a good scene.
So good.
But I haven't not seen like all of it.
It's a good movie. I'm torn. I'm so torn. I'm so because I'm just gonna go ahead and assume I'm probably the deciding vote here.
Yeah, I can't really vote for the movie
because I love What We Do in the Shadows. It's very funny. I love it. I quote it all the time. But like Elephant Man is such an emotionally resonant movie. Like I still think about it all the time, especially the ending, and it just sticks with you.
Damn it.
I mean, John Hurt's performance. Oh my goodness.
John Hurt's so good. But just What We Do in the Shadows, I can watch whenever. I can watch because Elephant Man is a combined pick. What We Do in the Shadows is my pick. So and I voted for Elephant Man to be in the combined section. So it's kind of me versus me a little bit. But this is so tough. But I guess if we're ready, we can take it into an official vote.
Interesting. All right, let's do it.
Alex,
Elephant Man.
Justin.
What we do in the shadows?
I gotta go with my gut. Elephant Man, I love. But What We Do in the Shadows is probably in my top 10, maybe even top 5 comedies of all time. Elephant Man is not in my top dramas, even though it's probably close to it. I gotta go with What We Do in the Shadows.
So I do hate you.
Hey, this was tough. This was really tough.
A lot of these are going to be really tough.
Yeah. Damn it.
I'm sorry, Alex. I'm sorry. Now for the next matchup in this first round, we have a Justin pick battle
Yep.
of Skyfall versus Gattaca. The second mention of Gattaca on this podcast, and probably the second time it's been mentioned in the past 20 years.
Probably be the last time it's brought up on this one too.
No, we got.
Unless you make it one of your picks and then we watch it.
Honestly, we got to pick. We had to find some way to reference Gattaca like every episode now. It's like a joke. But anyway, Justin, I'll let you start us off because this is the Justin pick battle.
Well, you got arguably probably the best Daniel Craig movie in Skyfall with Javier Bardem as the villain. And then you got Gattaca basically proving that you can do anything no matter what physical limitations you have. This is tough.
Are you guys ready?
For me,
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, I've seen like almost every Bond. I think I'm missing a couple. I watched it when I was younger, and I plan to do a rewatch. So like, I love the series, and Skyfall is probably my favorite. If not, then I mean, Casino Royale, Goldfinger, those are great. But I don't know, Skyfall is just so intense. It's so well made, and it's got that interesting emotional connection with M and his past and things like that normally don't come into play in the Bond film. And I think that combined with a memorable villain, I mean, it's one of my favorite action movies. It's one of the best spy movies out there. I absolutely love Skyfall.
Are you guys ready to yell at me?
And Roger Deakins.
Sure.
Roger Deakins.
I haven't seen Skyfall. It's on the list.
You saw, or was it, you saw?
I saw Spectre.
Spectre. You saw the bad Daniel Craig one.
I saw, because I've seen Casino Royale and I've seen Spectre.
Because I will. Oh, you've seen Casino Royale?
Yeah, I've seen Casino Royale. I saw Spectre because Justin wanted to see it back when we were in college, and I went with him.
God,
That was like one of our first movies we saw together.
I think it was the first.
First date.
Yep, it was our first date. we went after club, went and got some ice cream afterwards, cuddled on the couch.
Should really not broadcast our personal lives.
I'm gonna move on. But I have seen Gattaca. I saw it in high school, like most people saw it. And I do really like Gattaca. I do think it's an underrated movie. Have you seen Gattaca, Alex?
I have not.
Okay, so this is interesting then. Ooh.
Yeah, Justin's gonna have to kill one of his own.
Sophie's choice.
Here. Yep.
All right.
So with
I
that,
guess we are voting then, yeah, because
are people ready
I'll
for
let
a
you
vote?
two go first then.
vote?
my pick is Skyfall.
My pick is Gattaca.
And my pick is Skyfall.
So Skyfall moves on.
So good.
I didn't expect Gattaca to go far.
Now, hey, I voted for it. I probably wasn't going to vote for it
But
in
you
the
probably
future
wouldn't vote
rounds.
for it had you seen Skyfall.
Yeah.
So for the next matchup, and the final matchup of this region for the first round, we have the David is Angry battle of Terminator 2 Judgment Day versus District 9. I hate this. I hate this so much. Because Terminator 2, we talk about Fury Road, that might be the best action movie. I think Terminator 2 might still be my favorite for action movies. It's so freaking good. Everything about Cameron's direction. Because I think, Alex, you're also a big Terminator 2 fan as well.
Oh, I mean, that was like a childhood growing up obsession was Terminator. I mean, The movie is just absolutely incredible. I think that's again one that's in my contention for best action films. I would put it above Fury Road probably. And I mean, it basically needs no introduction. It's so famous, it's so well known, and it's so good.
And CGI holds up amazingly for an almost 30-year movie.
Yeah, the Liquid Terminator.
Better than most films today.
Yeah, like it looks better than most films, I'd say. Like it's amazing. James Cameron's a VFX god.
Yeah. And what sets it apart, I think, is there's that emotional connection too. Like the central relationship with John and the Terminator is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so fun.
Well.
F's in the chat for Edward Furlong. Wait, is he alive?
Yeah.
Okay.
They had him come in. They had him come in for the CGI monstrosity in Dark Fate.
the Uncanny Valley monster.
Yeah. They had him come in for that.
Of course they did.
But that said, District 9 might be my top 5 favorite movies of all time. I love District 9 so much. It's what I would consider to be a forgotten classic because it was nominated for I think Best Picture for sure at the Oscars. I don't know what other ones it was nominated for. But it was nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. It earned a ton of money and no one talks about it. I think it's one of the smartest sci-fi movies ever made. The whole political allegory of it, of the aliens invade the planet, yet they're actually the ones that are kind of mistreated, is genius. And I think it's an incredibly smart movie.
Well or not talked about a lot now is because Neil Blomkamp's last 2 films after it kind of were shaky and kind of crap.
You mean District 9 and District 9 yet again?
Yes.
But this one's so smart. And the action too, like T2 has phenomenal action, but District 9 did not expect it to be that gory and violent as it was, and I loved it. The use of weapons in that movie is so damn good.
Fucking prawns,
man. Yeah, the return of Sharlto Copley in probably his best performance.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't get really any nominations for it. Am I the only one that likes District 9? Why am I the only one talking about it?
It's been a while since I've seen it. I did absolutely love it. Like, it's an excellent sci-fi film. I need to revisit it. But, I mean, for me, Terminator 2 is just that, like...
This sucks.
Let's say goodbye to the things we love.
Yeah. Justin, according to your Letterboxd score, you gave District 9 a 3.5, but then when I called you on it, you said that you were shocked that you put it at that, which happens a lot. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts?
Well-made movie. It turns everything on its head. I mean, I really enjoy it, but like Alex said, T2's at the top, and it's not gonna pass it up.
With that voting time, I'm just gonna go ahead and say, Justin,
T2.
Alex,
T2.
My vote doesn't matter. So,
but gun to your head, which one are you gonna pick?
T2. T2. I mean, it's like as close to a tie as we can get because they're both like 5 out of 5 movies to me. So. Yeah. And T2 gave the world Terminator 2 3D Battle Across Time at Universal Studios.
Give them like 10 extra points.
which is like the greatest theme park attraction ever made. With that region is done. We're moving on to another region for first round matchups. This one, this next first matchup, Amadeus versus X2, X-Men United. I kind of wish we had more matchups like this.
Where it's completely opposite spectrums.
Well, honestly, I kind of forgot I left X-Men 2 on my list. That happened a couple times on here, where I thought I deleted movies but left them on, and now I kind of feel like kind of a dumbass. But
when do I start my Amadeus circle jerk? Here.
Oh, what's that? Oh, we're out of time. Justin, when you edit this, just whatever Alex says next, just cut it down to like 2 words. It good. But anyway, go ahead, Alex.
I mean, this to me, this is in my top 5 films of all time. absolutely incredible story. One of the best directed and edited films ever. It just flows so easily, and it's such a fun movie. Like, you laugh at a lot of parts, even though it's ultimately a very sad movie and is very like psychologically complex, all about obsession and jealousy and things like that. But I mean, you're not going to find a better made film than this. And it's really just, even though, I mean, the director's cut is like 3 hours long. It's one of those, think about like Wolf of Wall Street or something that just flies by.
Isn't the director's cut the only one you can actually see now?
Yeah, so that's the only one that they put onto Blu-ray, which is interesting. But yeah, that's basically the only copy you can see now, which is fine because all you get is more great scenes.
See,
the performances are a bit longer and more elaborate.
That was the one I saw that was on Netflix when I watched it.
I mean, just, oh my gosh, like, I could talk about the direction all day too, but like some of those match cuts are just like genius.
See, I knew Amadeus as the movie that your grandparents probably owned on VHS.
Sounds about right.
That's his taste.
I'm going to be upfront. These guys know this. I have not seen Amadeus. It's become a running joke.
It has. For a year.
Where now I'm basically determined to like not watch it now.
Until I pick it for this podcast.
Even though I have to. Yeah, but you know our deal.
Yeah, I know. Then I have to watch. So we have a deal that if one of us watches one film, the other has to watch the other, and his is Batman Mask of Phantasm that I have to watch.
Which is amazing.
I honestly wanted to watch it at a few points, but I've held out in spite.
I will say, I remember, I'm pretty sure I started watching Amadeus in band class in middle school, and I'm starting to wonder why the hell were they showing us any of this?
Because it's music. It's about music.
Well, it explains why we never finished the film. We'd only watch certain parts of it.
Hey,
yeah.
In band class, I had to watch West Side Story and August Rush. I probably would have much rather have watched Amadeus.
Definitely rather watch Amadeus.
I need to say, though,
Murray Abraham is so good that I almost didn't realize he was playing the older version of Salieri, as well as the younger one.
Moving on, though, to talk about the other film, X2 X-Men United. If the Chris Nolan Batman movies didn't exist, X2 might be my favorite superhero movie of all time.
Yeah, it's up there.
I think it's completely phenomenal.
For me, I still give the edge to the Raimi Spider-Man, but X2 is one of the ones that, like, those two combined kind of, like, set the tone that you can make really great movies out of, comic book adaptations.
It's thrilling. It's got great scenes, great performances, great action.
I mean, the opening scene alone with Nightcrawler is on point.
Yeah.
And I have to say,
my favorite stuff in my favorite stuff in X-Men is, Wolverine in his past and stuff, and that's literally what this whole movie is about.
and Magneto breaking out of his jail cell is probably one of the greatest superhero scenes ever made. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely incredible. Too much iron in your blood.
So good.
But
if an attractive woman is into you, maybe you should think about that next time. That decides to kill him.
I have to say, I know this film's gonna get its ass beat. I'm aware of that.
I'm still afraid. I hope Justin picks Amadeus, but
I need to say this, Alex. You have to at least acknowledge that X-Men 2 played a big part in our friendship, and that me and you had to defend it in LA.
I am Spartacus to this movie. So
yeah, we had. So when we were in LA, there's a moment where we're talking about movies at like a bar, because we went to LA on a trip in college, and I think I brought up X-Men 2, and I was immediately told how bad it was. And Alex, who we weren't like super close friends at the time, like your head peaked up at that, and you and me had basically defend the movie. About how great X-Men 2 was.
I had the interactive wallpaper where you like click on their portraits and like it showed all this like info. What's like Stryker's group? Or the name, but it was like
Alkali Lake. I know was the facility.
Yeah, but like it was like because that was a big
Weapon
thing.
X.
This was the interactive wallpapers, right?
It was Weapon X.
My parents' creaky computer had to use all of its RAM to run my interactive wallpaper.
But that movie, I do love it. has a big place in my heart. It's one of the films that got me in the superhero stories. So I'm sure my wife hates it just for that reason, looking at our bookshelf and the pile of books that can't fit on our bookshelf of superhero comics. But that said, moment of truth. Voting time. My vote's for X-Men 2. Alex?
My vote is for Amadeus.
So Justin?
I'm going Amadeus.
Fuck all of you.
At least I got one round of Amadeus, and I'm happy.
Yeah, but this next round is going to be hell for you.
Yep, one of the 3 matchups I have against movies that I picked.
Yep. This is Alex. This is Alex punches his computer, part 1. The next matchup.
This one's not as bad as the other ones, but it's bad.
Of Raging Bull versus 2001: A Space Odyssey. Dude, I'm sorry.
Yeah, like, I guess I'll play Raging Bull first before I, like, lose it. Because, I mean, Raging Bull, I love Scorsese. I mean, I think I have multiple Scorseses at 5 stars, and other ones at 4.5. One of the greatest directors of all time, and Raging Bull is my favorite of his. It's super complex. It's super brutal. It's fascinating character study and decline. But 2001 is, like, in contention for me for the greatest film ever made. Like, it is one of the most, like, completely engrossing experiences you can have. It's incredible visually. It's super intense and scary, and dealing with the fear of the unknown and all that stuff, and very complex sci-fi studies of AI and all kinds of that stuff. And it's just an unmatched experience, really. And Kubrick is my favorite director, so yeah.
Now, Justin, have you seen both these movies?
I've seen parts of these movies.
Oh, so you haven't seen either of them?
I'm pretty sure I've seen most of Raging Bull.
Interesting.
It's been a while.
Ooh.
2001 sometime then.
I mean, I saw 2000. I've seen both.
Yeah,
Are you good?
you can go.
I've seen both these movies fairly recently. I saw Raging Bull probably about a year ago in my pandemic movie binge, as I went through all my old DVDs that I've had that I've gotten through the years and don't remember how I got. And I loved Raging Bull. Like, Robert De Niro's performance in it is one of the best ever. The editing, I think the Editors Guild voted Raging Bull the best edited movie ever made. And you see why. It's amazingly edited. But then a couple of years ago, I saw 2001: Space Odyssey at an IMAX movie theater that's no longer there.
I hate you.
In Appleton, Minnesota. And oh my goodness. Like as Alex said, watching it is an experience, especially when you watch it in kind of how Kubrick intended, which is in a theater.
Range and setup you can watch it in, the better. Like,
but like, because IMAX, they did the right thing. They had it in a theater with the overture, with an intermission, like the full road show. And I mean, it's an experience. The noise rattled my brain. It still looks amazing visually.
well, it's never gonna age, because I mean, I honestly, like, this is the only film I can watch over and over again, and I honestly don't even want to watch the behind the scenes, because I'm like, I don't understand how this was possible. Because I mean, there's no CGI. There was no CGI that existed. It's like, how the hell was this even made?
The old-fashioned way where you had to make everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, how did he
look
make
cheap.
like space and planets that look exactly real in like a studio?
Because Stanley Kubrick is Stanley Kubrick.
Because
Yeah,
he's
he's
the moon landing.
This is why, exactly. This is why that conspiracy theory started, is because people saw 2001, which was made before we got there, and then that's how that whole ridiculous nonsense started. But that's not, the point is, it looks so good that people thought he faked the moon landing. So,
I'm very torn with this because you have two GOAT tier movies, and
I mean, yeah, it sucks. I have them both at 5 stars, and it's not even hard for me. That's the level 2001 is on. Like, it's just unfortunate. But
so with that, I'm gonna call for a vote. Alex,
2001.
I will also pick 2001. So, Justin, for the record, what would you say on two movies that you
Probably
haven't seen?
go Raging Bull because that's a movie I've seen more of.
See, I almost picked Raging Bull, but now we're at 2001.
I don't think you would have been many for my rage.
So 2001 moves on, and we are moving on to the next
Fuck
matchup.
that matchup.
The next matchup, which is The Big Lebowski
Well, this one's not that great of a matchup either.
versus Back to the Future. Two great classic movies. One of them is leaving early.
I don't think I can go against just the spirit of Back to the Future. Like, oh my gosh, this is one of the most energetic, memorable movies ever. Like, you can, it's one of those scripts that you can quote damn near every line, and people do constantly, and it's made its way into regular conversation to the point where I barely even realize when I'm quoting it.
But it's also up against Big Lebowski, which is also one of the most quotable movies of all time that I quote without actually realizing it.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a few from that I quote a lot too. But the pure like heart and energy in Back to the Future and how smart it is. I love Big Lebowski. It's so funny. And again, as another one that's by the end is actually very emotionally resonant, but I can't go against Back to the Future, I don't think. It's tough.
I love both movies. I'm leaning towards Big Lebowski. I love it too much. I love it too much. It's too funny to me. I watch it every time, and I pick something new up every time. I still laugh as hard as I did the first time. Jeff Bridges is amazing. John Goodman's amazing. I love Back to the Future, but my heart's with Big Lebowski. Justin.
I'm going Back to the Future.
Fuck all of you. God, we didn't even need to call for
Right,
a vote.
Scott? Well, I mean, at that point, it just happened organically.
Yeah, at that
Are you going to filibuster?
Well, there's no reason to. I mean, I knew, because Back to the Future has that 80s nostalgia that everyone goes for, that I'm fucking sick of. You know, it's a great movie.
But
At least it's not Goonies. If this is Goonies, and Goonies was going to beat Big Lebowski, I've been throwing hands.
well, right, but Goonies is like, I mean, it's a fun movie, but it's based entirely on that 80s nostalgia. Back to the Future, like, created it. Like, Back to the, you know what I mean? Like, Back to the Future started so much.
Let's just fucking move on. Back to the Future moves on. We don't even have to keep fucking talking.
This one sucks, too.
This one really sucks. This next matchup is Steven Spielberg's classic Jaws versus Edgar Wright's comedy classic Hot Fuzz. Like this is hard. This is really hard.
See, we screwed ourselves by picking just some of the best movies we know of.
Yeah.
That's why it's fun.
Well, you got Jaws, which you got Steven Spielberg's first movie, builds the tension so well by never showing the shark until the end because the shark looks ridiculous. You got,
It's fun. You can continue.
there you go. Go.
I think too, the shark looks ridiculous with all of the shots they had, but like the few shots that are in the movie, it looks really good. Like, that's the funny thing about it, again, is that, you know, by using it in such a limited fashion, it makes it so much scarier.
Also, not to get political, but it is the best movie to watch in the pandemic.
The beaches will stay open.
Because you know you part of the movie when they refuse to close down the beaches because it would affect the economy. Yeah.
Right. Both of us watched it. Justin, I think you had seen it a long time ago, but this is one that was on my shame list, and I didn't watch it until well into quarantine, so that just made it even funnier.
Oh, I was in quarantine too, because the part where like they know the shark is eating people and they just keep the beaches open, and then breaking news: spoiler alert, shark eats more people.
With one of the best shots ever.
First came across this movie about 10 years ago, I think, and it was just enthralling. You got all great scenes with I forget all their names. It's been a while.
See, my first memory of Jaws.
And anything else. That's the problem.
See, my first memory of Jaws is my mom trying to drag me, basically screaming onto the Jaws ride at Universal Studios, and me wanting nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Because
You got,
Scary Shark
Roy
is scary.
Roy Schneider, Robert Shaw, and Richard Dreyfuss. Those three work great.
Jaws
I mean,
is so
Richard
good.
Dreyfuss and Robert Shaw really hate each other, so it really played off the movie.
But then you have Hot Fuzz, which is one of the smartest satires ever made.
It's so funny.
With
That's another one that just you just feel the energy the whole way, and it's so fast and it's so fun, and you just love the characters, and it's got so many snappy, great jokes. Well, also, I mean, the story is interesting. Like you're really engaged, and it's got some good twists.
It's a compelling action movie. Like much like these movies, it's also like it parodies something, but it's also really good at being what it's parodying.
Yeah.
It's a damn good action movie.
The fact that they watch all the movies that they're later going to parody.
Yeah. So they're basically reenacting the movies that they just watched for no sake. The violence and gore is so well done.
Well, and it's in like the violence and gore. Besides just like adding to the action scenes, like it's so over the top that it's hilarious, like on purpose.
There's a scene at the end. I mean, everyone talks about we talk about cringy like violent moments. Everyone talks about Home Alone when he steps on the nail. This movie has like the more evolved version of that.
It's again, that's one that like it's so cringy and like gross. It's like funny. Like it kills me every time.
This one's super tough for me, because I do love both movies. And you're talking like really you're comparing what is already an all-time classic in Jaws versus what will probably become an all-time classic in Hot Fuzz.
I think it's getting there.
It for sure will be.
I think for me, it's definitely Edgar Wright's best.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I love all three.
Spielberg isn't one of. I mean, Jaws is one of Spielberg's best, and he's made like 8 of them.
He's made like 50 movies.
Yeah, that are like.
Jaws still stands out.
Classic every genre, and it's scary, it's tense, it's like fun and adventurous. Like it somehow combines all of those things.
Have one of the greatest scenes with Robert Shaw talking about the USS Indianapolis.
It masters scale, it masters scope, but Hot Fuzz also masters scale and masters scope. This is a tough choice. This is a matchup that probably could have been in the semifinals or quarterfinals.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
But I'm gonna say if people are ready,
I'm ready.
I'm gonna call for a vote.
Yeah, I don't want to vote first, but
what? You do not want to vote first?
I'll go. I'll go first. I'm voting Jaws.
That's obvious. I knew fucking that was coming.
Yeah, right. I don't want to go next.
I don't want to go next either. I don't want. Well, fuck. Hot Fuzz is my pick, but Jaws is.
We gotta make me one of the deciding votes on this one, so I'm going last.
I gotta pick Hot Fuzz. I got it. I love Jaws. But if I had to choose between what movie to watch right now, Hot Fuzz or Jaws, I'm picking Hot Fuzz. So, Alex, deciding vote goes your way.
Yeah, see, Hot Fuzz is more fun, but like I can't look like Jaws is so good that I can't look at these two and not pick Jaws. Like I just can't do it. I have to pick Jaws.
I'm okay with that. I'll accept that. I'm not mad.
Legendary, yeah. I can't pick against it.
And with
I hate that I had to.
And with that, we're moving on to another region in part 2 of the randomization hates Alex rounds.
You're gonna hate this next one.
This is maybe the worst one.
Raiders of the Lost Ark versus Lawrence of Arabia.
Lawrence, yeah, we've talked. I mean, we just talked about on the podcast a few weeks ago how amazing. I mean, we were able to talk for over an hour about how amazing it is. Mm-hmm. Like, and Raiders, like, if I had to pick right now, we've talked about, Fury Road's in contention for best action. Oh, T2 is in contention. That would be my pick. Raiders.
I don't want to get in this right now, but to me, I wouldn't necessarily call Raiders an action movie. Per se,
more of an adventure movie.
Yeah, I call it an adventure movie.
Those two are so close, though. Like,
see, but Raiders has really elements of fantasy. It has elements of fantasy and quest, and that to me makes it adventure over action.
It's action/adventure.
Anyway, moving on to the fight at hand. We don't need to really talk much into Lawrence because we literally had a whole podcast on it. Listen to that if you want our full...
Like, goat tier epic, the epic. Like, it's incredible and complex and all those things. And Raiders is just just this enthralling, incredibly made adventure.
Now, I don't want to speak for Justin, but I feel like both him and me, Raiders isn't our favorite Indiana Jones movie just because we both talked about it in the past.
You are wrong.
I prefer Last Crusade.
I do think Raiders is a better overall movie, but I mean, you give me Raiders versus Crusade, I'm gonna pick Crusade just because of the dynamic with Harrison Ford and
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
But that said,
the set pieces are just unmatched in Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders is iconic for its set pieces. I mean, everyone knows the opening scene.
Yeah, you have tons of movies and TV shows parody it to a death.
It's an all-time
It's
classic.
ironic because, I mean, clearly Raiders and all of Indiana Jones is heavily inspired by Lawrence of Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's Spielberg's favorite film, and, like, especially the desert scenes, like, it's very obvious, the influence.
It's painfully obvious.
We ready to vote?
I'm ready to vote.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Alex, this is your pick. You vote first.
I have to go with Lawrence of Arabia.
Justin?
I'm going with Lawrence of Arabia.
I would have said Raiders. I pick Raiders.
I hate it, but I just can't pick against Lawrence. Which is funny. If you had asked me right after I saw Lawrence, I would have easily picked Raiders. But Lawrence just grows every time you watch it or think about it.
Well, that's the thing is ever since you had us watch it, I've been thinking about it a lot more and more lately.
Yeah, it just sticks with you forever. It never leaves. It's always in the back of your head, like, oh my gosh, that was so good. And like you think about the complexities of Lawrence himself, and it's like, yeah, it just keeps growing.
I mean, I think it's the recently biased for me right now, but yeah.
So moving on to our next matchup, which is David gets angry. See, Alex is mad because all of his films are against each other. I'm mad because all of my films are against shared picks.
It happened.
And that really sucks because now we have...
It could have been a shared pick too.
This one could have been because we have Terry Gilliam's masterpiece Brazil versus Peter Jackson's masterpiece Fellowship of the Ring. This one really sucks because I think these are... Actually, I try. Justin has not been in Fellowship of the Ring, but we all have Brazil at 5 stars, I think, on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Fellowship I have as 5. Alex, I think you have it as 5.
Oh, yeah.
But Justin, I don't think you have it that high.
No, I think I have it like around 4.
I should have put Return of the King. It's a standard.
Actually,
Oh, that's right. This isn't a shared pick. This is me versus you. Fuck. Okay.
What?
Now I'm into it. Now I'm ready to go. But that said, Brazil, probably the greatest satire ever made, in my opinion. I love dystopian movies, dystopian stories. It's probably one of the best. It takes 1984, it flips it, and it makes it even probably scarier than what Orwell originally wrote. Jonathan Pryce.
It's funnier, yet scarier.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
It's more real.
It's hilarious. Great music. Great production design. Jonathan Pryce kills it as Sam Lowry. And the story of making it is just as interesting as the movie that got made. There's so many cuts of it that exist. 2 of them are good. The third one sucks. But Brazil, to me, is an all-time classic. Thoughts on Brazil?
I mean, I agree that it's fantastic and super well made, and the commentary is just so on point. To me, Fellowship is... I mean, we've talked about Lawrence so much as, like, it being, like, the epic, but, I mean, I love Fellowship even more. Like, such an emotional journey. The scale is legitimately unmatched. Nothing has done that, and nothing maybe ever will do that again, while still having that emotional resonance. So I have them both at 5 stars. It sucks, but Fellowship is like top 3 all time for me.
See, I like Fellowship a lot too, but that said, it's not my favorite Lord of the Rings movie. I do.
Well,
See, I have the unpopular opinion where I like Two Towers the most.
Oh, please.
I agree.
I mean, the unpopular opinion, that's why I'm doing that, because that's, like, the most popular one.
Really? Because I've always gotten yelled at because everyone's like, Return of the King is the greatest movie of all time.
That's what happened when it came out, and now, like, in the last 5 to 10 years, everybody has been Two Towers.
Like, if you put Two Towers, I'd be pulling my hair out right now. But since you put Fellowship, it's easy Brazil. Like that's. We're not voting. I'm going Brazil.
I just put it in to stand for all of them because to me they're the same. Like, because they shot them all at the same time. Like, it's basically one movie.
Justin, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
Like I'm not as high on Fellowship. For me, it kind of drags. I don't know. I guess I'm in the minority on that. But it's still a good movie. My vote would be for Brazil.
Are we officially voting?
I can never talk to you guys again.
Are we officially voting? Because Alex, what's your official vote then?
You just did. I abstain. In rage.
Okay, Brazil moves on. Yeah, it's a win for David. Honestly, no one won. Like, I still kind of lost because I do love Fellowship, but Brazil is so.
You just pick which Lord of the Rings one to put in. You just I couldn't just put Lord of the Rings.
Well, yeah, but it was your choice though. So I had you make the decision. What would I fuck myself over? I mean, that was a tough choice. It's just Brazil. I love way. I love it more than Fellowship. I don't know if I love it more than the other ones.
I don't even think had you put any of the other ones, I would have voted another way. So.
Oh, interesting. But overall, we'll probably kill us if we keep talking about this. So let's move on.
I'm already sharpening my knife. This is unbelievable. The world is with me here.
Let's move on to what's probably a hard choice for me and nobody else. The Dark Knight versus Reservoir Dogs.
I mean, it's a little bit of a difficult choice.
Well, this is another I have both at 5 stars, I think.
I mean, this is my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie.
I can't remember if Alex is the one I know that likes Reservoir Dogs or the person I know that doesn't like it that much. I keep forgetting.
No, I have it at 5 stars. It's just my favorite Tarantino is still Django, but I have both of them at 5 stars.
But it's versus Dark Knight. That's the problem. It's versus Dark Knight.
I'm the one who's not as high on Pulp Fiction, but yeah, going up against the Dark Knight. Dark Knight is another one that's in my top 10. It's a total masterpiece. Like, I mean, again, it's one that you barely even think about as a comic film because it's one of the best crime films ever made. It's one of the best just films ever made that, like, anytime there's, like, the article, like, this might be better than The Dark Knight when another comic book movie comes out, I just, like, scoff. Like, shut up.
Because Dark Knight is unlike any comic book movie ever made. It kind of breaks that mold. Like, we think of Marvel movies, they're very much, the same. And Dark Knight was made like a movie first, superhero movie second.
Yep.
It's its own movie, just has comic book heroes in it.
And
and it like tortures them. It's like,
and I mentioned earlier
to the absolute limit and becomes so psychologically fascinating.
And I mentioned earlier that X-Men 2 was one of the movies that got me into superhero stuff. Dark Knight is the reason why I'm into superhero stuff. It is the reason why I started reading Batman. And it all went downhill from there.
But I will say the fact that Reservoir Dogs is Tarantino's first film is absolutely insane.
It's so good. It's tight. It's clean. It's short. It's like 90 minutes long. It's like half as long as the movie he's made.
2.5 hours now, and like here's this 90-minute indie film that's better than damn near all of them. It's so tense. It's so interesting. It's so well written.
It's a damn good mystery.
All in one room.
Yeah, one room.
Yeah.
Damn good mystery. Great performances by everyone all around.
Mm-hmm.
Damn good direction. It does. My wife's not super big on it just because she thinks it does a lot of telling instead of showing. And then we argued, but I do love it. That said, moving to an official vote, my vote's for Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
Yeah,
that's a matchup one. That's just unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. Now we have part 3 of Randomization Hates Alex with
unbelievable
with The Godfather versus Ace in the Hole.
It's like It's like putting Manny, like, to use a boxing reference, even though Raging Bull got it how long ago, it's like if you put Pacquiao or something versus like Frazier. It's like, I mean, he's amazing, but he's like half his weight, and one punch would send him flying across the room. It's not fair.
For those of you that don't know what Ace in the Hole is, which is probably most of you, it's basically Nightcrawler, but better and older.
Yeah, Billy Wilder like saw it coming in the 50s and was like, "Here you go," and they're like, "This would never happen." And now it's considered one of his best, and he's a legendary director, and it's so intense. It's one of the best satires. We've got a bunch of satires on here, but this one is so biting. Like, it's so vicious in how biting it is that it's like fun.
But
The Godfather. I mean, what else do I have to say?
Yep.
For me, this is literally the greatest film ever made on every level.
Justin,
it's unbeaten.
Have you seen The Godfather, Justin?
Yes, I have.
Okay, I know you haven't seen Ace in the Hole because you're a person.
Yeah.
You're a person that's not David and I.
Yeah. I only saw Ace in the Hole because it's on Amazon Prime. Otherwise, I wouldn't have seen it by now.
Yeah, it just randomly popped on there. It's in the Criterion Collection, which will help more people see it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah, the Godfather status, like, is somehow more than earned. Like, every time I watch it, it's like, is this still my favorite film of all time? And I watch it, I'm just like instantly sucked in. Every scene, the fact that every single scene basically is an all-time classic scene is outrageous.
I love Godfather. I think everyone loves The Godfather. I remember your rage in editing class, Alex, when you showed a clip from The Godfather and no one had seen it, and another person played a clip from Scooby-Doo 2, and everyone was laughing and having a good time.
Yeah, in a film class. We're all there to learn because we love film so much. How many of you have seen The Godfather? A fourth of the class puts their hands up, and you hadn't seen it yet!
Don't you? Hey, this isn't about me. This is don't drag me to this.
This is about the other idiots. You've seen it.
It's about the Scooby-Doo 2 guy. Anyway, moving on. I'm just gonna call for an official vote because we know what's gonna happen.
Yep.
My vote's for Godfather. Justin.
The Godfather.
Alex.
You know what it is. The Godfather.
And with that, but this does leave us with probably one of the most painful matchups of the second round.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna pick, and it does suck to see those two already facing off. That's a
finals match.
Championship.
Matchup. Yeah,
it's a finals match. But with that, we're gonna keep this train moving, and we're gonna go to our last region for the first round: Apocalypse Now versus Sunset Boulevard.
Gosh. Which is another Alex one. Wait, no, one of these is shared, isn't it?
Apocalypse Now is shared.
I was going to say Apocalypse Now is shared.
It would have been mine.
Have we all seen Apocalypse Now?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know Sunset Boulevard, me and had to watch it for a class.
Yep.
So that it had to be in the classroom.
It wasn't a classroom. It was at home.
Oh.
We had to write a paper on it.
Yeah. But that said, being forced to watch it, I still really liked it. I love Billy Wilder. Dude's a god.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I said Ace in the Hole is one of my favorites. It's probably my second favorite Billy Wilder. This is my favorite. Sunset Boulevard is my favorite. And my favorite, it's noir, right? It counts as noir. Yes, it does.
Don't ask a question and not let us answer it, Dick.
I've answered my own question because basically everybody considers it one from what I've seen anyway.
He doesn't want you to give the wrong answer again.
I mean, absolutely incredible, super tense. It's scary at times, but I mean, perfect commentary on Hollywood. Like, this is the movie about Hollywood.
It's such a biting look at fame and how fleeting it is.
And how, it just eats you up and spits you out.
Mm-hmm.
But
Apocalypse Now, though.
Absolutely, like, you feel the descent into insanity. It's like perfection.
You go insane watching it. It's
you will go insane watching it.
Justin,
he had a heart attack while filming this movie.
Yeah. They went insane making this movie. You will go insane watching this movie, and you will love it.
I love both movies. I'm not nearly as high on Sunset Boulevard as you are, Alex. It's not my favorite Billy Wilder movie. I'm just
glad I have Apocalypse Now higher because I would have been really upset otherwise.
Justin, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
I mean, I mean, it's tougher than you'd think, but definitely, one of them's outmatched in terms of scale and scope and everything.
Because Sunset Boulevard is a really good noir film, but Apocalypse Now is pure insane bliss.
I'm just
One
laughing
of
at
the greatest war movies.
It might be it's in contention for my favorite war film. It might be my favorite.
With that, because I can see where this is going, I'm going to call for an official vote. Mine's for Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now.
Now, for this next matchup, I really wish this would go the way to make it really fucking funny. But it won't.
I know. No, because, I mean, Tropic Thunder versus Apollo 13, and Tropic Thunder is comedy Apocalypse Now, parodying the making of.
But again, it's also a really good commentary on Hollywood and big budget movies and the star system, where you have
And method acting.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. kills it as a method actor that does blackface to truly get in the role.
Which everyone wants to try to cancel this movie every 3 years.
No, they don't. It's like two people do. People love this movie still.
Apollo 13 is Ron Howard randomly being amazing at directing instead of just very standard studio guy.
Yeah, that's the most intriguing part of this.
I'm gonna be honest. I've not seen.
Who directed this? Who was in a Ron Howard suit?
I have not seen all of Apollo 13. I've only seen about 2/3 of it in school, and just haven't had the opportunity. I want to finish it, just haven't had that opportunity. But Tropic Thunder,
It really worth every it was nominated for. It's so tense. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's stuck with me for a long time. But you see, Tropic Thunder is one of my favorite comedies.
It's so good, and it has one of the best Blu-rays I think for comedy ever. Because the bonus features on that Blu-ray are amazingly good.
The Justin Theroux as a French documentary filmmaker filming Robert Downey Jr.'s character's method acting behind the scenes is maybe my favorite feature on a disc ever.
Isn't that the one where he puts a gun at his fake family?
Yeah, he points a gun at his fake sons and has them kneel down and do some prayer thing, and I forget, he does something in the bathtub, some ritual thing.
Tropic Thunder has one of the best Tom Cruise moments ever, with him as Les Grossman, just going completely insane, doing whatever the hell he wants in front of the camera, and them just going with it.
Some of the best stuff too.
Matthew McConaughey is freaking hilarious as the agent obsessed with TiVo.
Jack Black going crazy. I mean, it's so good.
Jack Black, he's kind of gotten some flack for just the kind of garbage he's been doing lately. Him in this movie, basically playing Chris Farley, is amazing. Especially his rallying speech, where he talks about some softcore porn he did and trying to tell him to make a catapult out of panties, is one of the funniest things I've ever freaking heard in the movie.
And another one that's one of the most quotable movies ever.
But Apollo 13, from the bit I've seen of it, is also really damn good and tense. But that said, it doesn't be official.
I'm interested to see how this one goes.
But my vote is for Tropic Thunder.
Justin?
I'm going Apollo 13.
Deciding vote, Alex.
I knew I would be. I'm going Tropic Thunder.
I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that.
I know you guys didn't expect. I just honestly, I thought beforehand I might go Apollo 13, but I love Tropic Thunder too much not to go with it.
This gives us the funniest matchup of the.
And that too, it forces the greatest. I mean, I know it's gonna win, but it's the funniest matchup ever.
Next up, we have Hunt for Red October versus Alien.
This one's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen all of Hunt for Red October, but Alien's one of the best horror movies ever made, if not the best.
It's my number one in my top 10 all time. I've seen it. I mean, literally at my job to test the disc, I had to watch this movie every day 3 or 4 times. sometimes in different languages. I never once got sick of it, and I've watched it multiple times on my own since then.
Justin, you put Hunt for Red October. Do you want to try and make a defense for it before me, Alex, eviscerate it by sheer majority?
Yeah, I can try. I mean, basically, it's a great movie for with Sean Connery playing a Russian defecting to America. You got an all-star cast, pretty much. James Earl Jones, Baldwin, Sean Connery.
Doesn't Alec Baldwin play Jack Ryan in this?
Yes. First Jack Ryan movie. Probably the best one. I mean, I'm having a hard time trying to argue for this over Alien.
I mean, Alien's so fucking good. It's still scary. It's still even with everyone knowing all the twists.
Literally every single time I watch the movie, I jump at the part where Dallas is in the vent.
God, it's so good.
I mean, my only defense for the hunt for the Red October is we got Tim Curry in there.
True. But is this? But it's not Russian Tim Curry going to space.
No.
The cliff. Space. The one place not corrupted by capitalism.
Well, and I mean, Alien. Like, if you talk about study this movie if you want to know pacing, because the build up to all of the stuff that we all know about is so ridiculously tense. It just slowly unravels bit by bit by bit.
I love that we haven't even voted yet, and Justin's already putting Alien as the next. And moving on.
I conceded the moment this matchup happened, so.
It's an unfortunate one.
If you had to vote, Justin, who would you vote for?
I'd go Alien.
So Alien. It's Alien.
I mean, it's like the Prestige versus Fury Road. It's my pick, but I can't argue.
Now we have a Justin matchup for our final matchup of round one with The Untouchables versus Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, you got The Untouchables. Another Sean Connery. Man, I picked a lot of Sean Connery movies with Kevin Costner, and they're trying to take down Robert De Niro's. I forget who was playing.
Is he Capone?
Yes, they're trying to take him down, and then they get a crew together and just practically bring him down by way of tax evasion.
I'm pretty sure Brian De Palma directed that, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Also directed Scarface, which I wish I had on here.
And the underrated Phantom of the Paradise, which I am one of 8 people that's seen.
Then you got Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, the Matt Reeves sequel to Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And this one's just stellar performance from all around. Jason Clarke, Andy Serkis, Toby Kebbell.
I have not seen The Untouchables, but even if I had, it's not beaten down the Planet of the Apes for me. I love that movie way too much.
Together strong.
It has that Empire vibe of just being this dark, brooding movie with amazing action sequence. Andy Serkis kills it with his performance. I love this movie way too much.
You got the tank shot.
The tank shot's so good. It's so good. But Alex,
I'm not as high on it. Right, I'm not nearly as high on it as you guys, but it's still great. I have it at 4 out of 5. I think. I mean, it's a. I don't even. Have I rated it? I don't know. That's
you tell me, man. I don't know your opinions.
But I mean, it's still an excellent film. It's still really tense and really interesting. And again, the whole dynamic is what makes it, right? The whole him versus Koba and them trying to build this civilization and all of that is, to me, the best stuff in it. And but The Untouchables is another one that I have not seen.
Oof.
Yeah, and that would be fun. I feel like.
Well, I'm glad to know that I have another movie on YouTube that you guys haven't seen.
True.
Because I mean, I need to see more Brian De Palma because Scarface is, that's in my top 10. So I really should.
Well, then let's call for a vote.
Okay. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Justin.
I'm gonna go Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
So
okay, yeah, and I feel better going Dawn of the Planet of the Apes because I had to. I didn't want to already eliminate it if you were gonna go with the other one with Untouchables.
No, it's fine.
And with that, oh, go ahead.
No, it's fine.
Because about that, I'm gonna say we're moving on to round 2. We're just looking at our bracket. We unintentionally made some really tough choices for ourselves.
This whole bracket's just one tough decision.
Yeah.
And we're gonna
Yeah, there are a few doozies, some of that are going to make me sad, but
and we've already
things have to
explained a
die.
lot of these movies, so we can actually move probably pretty quickly through these.
yeah.
In the first matchup of round 2, we have Mad Max Fury Road versus What We Do in the Shadows. A David matchup in the semifinals.
For me, this isn't even close. Like, I love What We Do in the Shadows, but we've already talked about how high Fury Road is.
It's not
even
close.
for me.
It's Fury Road.
I was gonna say I don't even think we have to vote on.
No, it's Fury Road. We haven't discussed it. They're both great movies,
Sorry, Taika, but
but it's Fury Road.
Cargo Burr.
Be happy you made it past the first round.
Round
I'm not.
2, or I guess second matchup of round 2, Skyfall versus Terminator 2.
Oh,
Gosh,
dab in the heart.
it is.
I'll just say I haven't seen Skyfall, so my vote is for Terminator 2.
I love Bond, and that's probably my favorite Bond, but for me, it's also, again, Terminator 2 is, it's just so good. I can't pick against T2.
I agree.
Okay, so T2 is moving on. Next round is Amadeus versus 2001: A Space Odyssey.
I hate you all. I hate you all.
Why?
I don't know. I just do. You already know that.
Well, on this one you only have David who's seen 2001, and me who's seen Amadeus. So basically, it's your pick.
Yeah, basically it's up to you, because I have to vote 2001. He's about Amadeus. So Sophie's choice, Alex.
Both of these are in like my top 4 or 5 all time. Like that's how high they are. But to me, 2001 is the only experience to be comparable to The Godfather. Like, they're in their own tier. So it's 2001. It hurts because Amadeus is a freaking masterpiece, but 2001 is just, I can't argue against it. It's too good.
Our next matchup in this region, which is, oh Jesus, what did we do? Back to the Future versus Jaws.
What you got?
This is heavy.
Both of you need to shut the hell up right now.
What are you gonna do about it, butthead?
Well, I mean, I love both these movies.
What you're gonna do is vote for Jaws.
I have to say Jaws. Jaws is too damn good. Back to the Future is great, but Jaws is, I think, a better movie.
This is too damn hard.
Yeah, I could see Justin struggling with this.
I'm gonna go last. You go, Ovidal.
I don't think he wants to go.
See, the problem I'm running into is I can make the same arguments against Back to the Future that I made against Hot Fuzz to pick Jaws, but Back to the Future is like the next tier of that. So I'm like, at what point do I stop that and go with how fun it is? Man, this is tough. This might be the toughest one for me of our current matchups.
It's okay. Take your time.
What do you think, Justin? What thoughts do you have? I think he's dying inside.
I'm just imagining the face he's probably making right now, and it makes me really fucking happy.
I think I gotta go Back to the Future.
Oh,
That's 1-1.
I feel like I just
I was
a little.
just hoping you would just make it easy for me. Oh my gosh, why? Man, I think I have to go Jaws.
So Jaws wins. Jaws moves on into
That was
these
hard.
It
semifinals.
was. I'm really upset. My mom would be upset at me.
Now we're into the David versus Alex championship, basically, of Lawrence of Arabia versus Brazil. Justin, good luck.
I mean, you know my pick.
Yeah, I'm picking Brazil. He's picking Lawrence of Arabia. Justin, it's up to you.
If it had been immediately after watching both of these, I would have picked Brazil. But over time, Lawrence of Arabia just grows and grows and grows and grows, and now it's like it's not even a contest for me.
I'm gonna go Brazil.
That shocked me. Holy shit! I did not expect that.
I didn't either. I thought you were going with me.
Honestly, I thought Brazil was going to go out in the first round. I will take it going as far
Rigged.
as
Very
this.
rigged.
Because our next
the count.
round is probably the most painful for all of us, in that it's really what should be the final match of everything, of the Dark Knight.
If it had been different, this could have been the final round.
Of the Dark Knight versus the Godfather.
It's the Godfather. I end my argument.
It's the Dark Knight. I end my argument.
What'd you say?
It's the Godfather.
No,
I
what
mean,
did you say?
we're comparing two.
I said
crime
it's the
films.
Dark Knight. I said it's the Dark Knight. That's my argument. That's my argument.
Why am I getting stuck making these stupid decisions?
Dark Knight changed my life. I can't vote against it.
The Godfather changed everything for me. It's also like, again, you're talking about two crime films, and to me, I mean, The Godfather is like the crime film. Like,
I hate you both. I'm going to Godfather.
Fuck you.
yes, yes.
Man, I can't point against the Godfather, but Dark Knight's. I
It's
still
gonna be,
think it's
yeah, I know. You can't really argue against it. I would have been so mad.
Now the dumbest matchup of probably the entire
Yes.
thing: Apocalypse Now versus Tropic Thunder. I can't believe this.
Love Tropic Thunder, but I think it's going one way.
I can't vote against Apocalypse Now.
Because that's like, it's the parody of, it's the satire parody of Apocalypse Now. But it's Apocalypse Now.
So Apocalypse Now.
It's a masterpiece.
Apocalypse Now moves on.
Coppola.
Now we have Alien versus Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Sorry, Don.
Sorry, Don. I'm picking Alien.
I would have picked on.
Interesting.
Oh, you picked Don? Interesting.
I'm actually surprised it was so easy for David, but I guess you are also basically as high as me on Alien.
Yeah, I'm high on Alien too. Now for the semifinals.
Now it gets interesting. The one we've talked about, we've compared them multiple times.
The action movie battle of all time: Fury Road versus Terminator 2.
I hate everything.
Like,
I'm
this
going T2.
sucks. But
I'm going T2.
I have to go Fury Road.
Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, you guys.
I mean, I had to make a
guys
decision.
made me
Otherwise, I'd be
pick
mulling
between Brazil and-
over for like 20 minutes. So I just had to rip the bandit off.
Yeah. For me, oh my gosh. Why?
Actually, I think I said in this podcast earlier that I thought T2 was the better action movie. I think I said that earlier, but now,
It shows how close it is.
but now faced with like the gun to my head situation, thinking I gotta pick Fury Road.
And if you put the gun to my head, just how much I've loved it my whole life, I can't pick against T2.
That's fine. I accept that.
All right, T2.
This was like, I mean, Halloween, I dressed up as the Terminator when I was like a kid and nobody knew who I was.
Are there any photos of that? I want to see that.
I probably.
Next, we have 2001: A Space Odyssey versus Jaws. This one's harder
I've
for
only
me.
seen one, so I'm going Jaws.
This one's fuck. It's gonna be me, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, again, for me, just the experience of 2001, like, just unmatched. Jaws is super tense and all. I love it. 5-star movie, but like 2001 is just at a different team.
I gotta go to 2001 too. I have to.
All right.
I swear.
Next, we have the Brazil versus the Brazil. We have Brazil versus the Godfather. Fuck.
You know mine.
I gotta say Brazil. I have to. Justin.
I hate you. I hate you both. I knew I should have thrown my answer out right away.
Well, if you had one, then say it.
I know. I'm going to go Brazil.
What?
What? Yes! Holy shit!
This is ridiculous.
Let's go, Team Brazil to the moon! Next up in our final match of this round, Apocalypse Now versus Alien. This one really sucks. This one really sucks for me. Does anyone have their mind made up on this one?
I'm going to go Apocalypse Now.
I'm still just. I still just can't even speak.
See, I'd say Apocalypse Now.
Have to wait.
So you're.
Oh, so it's over. I honestly would have probably gone Alien. I'm just still recovering from the greatest film ever being knocked out.
Well, probably it's not the greatest film ever because it lost to Brazil.
Well.
So with that, we are in to the final 3 matches. Match 1, Terminator 2 versus 2001.
Sorry, T2.
This one, what?
I said sorry, T2.
I'm going T2.
See, Justin's going T2.
Yeah, I knew.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing, Alex. I don't know what to
I'm
say.
gonna do this shit again.
I don't know what to say. I love 2001, but I also love T2. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. I gotta say T2. I have to. I have
to take my off this bracket when you put it up.
Apocalypse Now versus, I'm sorry, so 2001 versus some of the other movies, I probably would have picked it, but like 2001, I don't love as much as you do. It's not even my favorite Kubrick movie. So I gotta pick T2. I hate it. Next matchup, Brazil versus Apocalypse Now. I know it's like a meme at this point, but I think you guys know what I'm saying.
I'm going Apocalypse Now.
I'm going Brazil.
Yes.
I'm going Brazil. So
Apocalypse
Alex.
Now.
Okay. So we have our.
Partially, but I also think it's better than Brazil. But
See, I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad at that at all.
I can't believe The Godfather. I don't even know what to say.
With that, we're into our final round. Terminator 2 versus Apocalypse Now. This really should have turned out different.
Yeah.
But with that,
Brazil was going out in round 1.
but with that, my vote, Apocalypse Now.
Really? I'm just shocked. I'm shocked you didn't vote for T2.
I love Apocalypse Now more than I love T2. Because Apocalypse Now is probably in my top, maybe not top 10, but top 15 for sure, which 2001 wasn't. Like it's close for me, but Apocalypse Now.
Justin?
I'm going to wait.
Nice try, Alex.
Oh, well, I already know what mine is.
Oh,
What did Justin say? Do you have a pick then?
Apocalypse Now.
Oh, mine is also Apocalypse Now.
So Apocalypse Now wins by 3 votes. Apocalypse Now is the champion. So there you have it, listeners, if you've made it this far
After this.
into our ramblings. Apocalypse Now, which I believe was a combined pick, so no one actually truly won. We all won this.
And we all lost.
and we all lost, is the winner.
Next time we pick a certain category.
Yeah, next time we simplify this. But there you have it. Apocalypse Now is the Idiot Plot official March Madness movie champion. There's really not much more to say than that.
Then
The look of the bracket, I think helped it. The
come
bracket.
to our page and yell at us for picks we made.
Yep. Do you think we were wrong?
Please do yell at us for one of them. I'll yell at us.
But do you think that we're wrong? Let us know on Facebook, or if you listen to this on YouTube, let us know in the comments there. Don't forget to like and subscribe to us on Spotify, Anchor FM, and Google Podcasts. We're also on YouTube, and like I said, we're also on Facebook, so go ahead and like our page if you want more content like brackets and stuff. Thank you so much for listening. I'm sure we'll do more debates like this sometime. I had a fun time with this. I think you guys did too.
For the most part.
We had some Sophie's Choices.
There was heart-wrenching and maddening things.
But with that, I'm David Yanish, and for Justin Etzel and Alex Overdahl, thank you for listening to another episode of Idiot Plot, and we'll see you again next time.